Hello, 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 and welcome to what will be the first episode of season 2 of the podcast. I'm excited to have you back. I'm excited to do this again. Let's talk about what we're going to do. Over the past year, while I did the first episodes of the first season, what will be now known as the first season of the podcast, I have to say that towards the end of that, I got a little bored with the format of just interviewing somebody. I think we had some really good stories, and I'm really proud of every episode of that first season. But it wasn't a format that I could see doing indefinitely into the future. At the same time, I had a really good idea for an app that I wanted to build. With everything going on, I was really experimenting with needing more emotional support myself and try and figure out what would be the tool that would really get that done. And being an app developer, I decided to put my development skills to work and build the thing that I actually wanted myself. So what we're going to talk about in this episode here is talk about the 2 apps I've been working on, and one that just went to the App Store last week. And then how you can get those, and then also talk about season 2 of the podcast, what's coming up, what my plan is for a new and better format for this going forward, and why I'm excited to get back to doing this. So let's begin. As I mentioned, there are 2 apps I've been working on. One app, as I mentioned, was on emotional support, and the idea there is when people are in most need of support, when you're feeling most down, whether it be out of depression or craving new drugs or relapse or post that, what you're least likely to reach out to somebody and maybe call them. Because you don't want to do that, because you don't want to put that on somebody else's plate. But that's when it would be most useful to do that, to reach out to somebody else. And so is it possible to design something where people get the support when they most need it, even if they're going to self-isolate? And so that was the trick. And so I spent the past year building an app that I think starts doing that. I'm calling it my Slay Today Groups app. I'm really excited about it. It's still in alpha testing, so you can't see it, but I'll show you a couple of the screens here. So one of the functionalities of the app is you get to do this really in-depth emotional inventory, emotional check-in. And it'll prompt you once a day to just check in with your emotions and say, how are you feeling? In this case, I'm feeling good, and then I can go deeper into what exact emotions I'm feeling and how intense are those emotions. After I submit that, I can then go into detail about describe the situations going on, add a photo of that, and then that emotion check-in stays private to just me. It's not shared like on social media with the world. It stays private to just me, just on that device. And if I choose to, I can share that with a small group of friends. And the idea is that you'd have a group of maybe 4 to 6 friends that you can be really emotional honest with, and share that with folks. So that's the emotional check-in side of the app. The other side of the app is then getting support from other people. And the idea here is that that small group of friends would pre-record some audio or video messages to you that are just saved and stored there. And then when you need it, when you're feeling low, those get delivered to you. And so you can see here that I've got a video message here that the video messages that I've received via the app. Anyway, that's a little bit about the app. I'm excited about it. We're going to be testing it over the next couple months here and hopefully get that out by the end of the year. That said, there was a second app that I've been working on. It was just really for fun, but also to build some community building within the LGBT community. The premise there is, can I build an alarm clock that people look forward to going off? Because people dread their alarm clocks. Can I do something fun that people look forward to going off? And so this is the drag queen alarm clock. When it goes off, you get video messages from drag queens that are funny, that are supportive, that just brighten your day. And so that's the Drag Queen Alarm Clock, and that one is the one that just went in the store the other day. I was working on them both. I thought the emotional support one was going to come out first. That's the one that's really in tune with the podcast and where things are going there, but it's just taking longer, and it needs more development and it needs more testing with users. So the Drag Queen Alarm Clock is simple, fun, and it's available now in the App Store. So download and check that out, and we'll be updating that as well. So that's what I've been working on over the past year. I needed to get that emotional support app off my chest and out of my head and into the world. And I needed it for my own support as well. And I've been testing that within my family. And I just really feel that it's a really good balance to the podcast and community building. So yeah, that's what I've been doing. So, Season 2 of the podcast. I've got really 3 things that I want to focus on in Season 2. First of all, it's kicking off with, I'm doing another virtual book club for the book Atomic Habits. I should have had that. Oh, here, it's on the table. Atomic Habits. We're going to have a small group of folks going through that book together, reading it. I think it's a great book for, as it says, easy and proven way to build good habits and break bad ones. And so we'll be meeting weekly to go through the book, and then I'll be doing some interviews with folks based on what we learn out of that book and people's own life experiences as podcast material. And so that'll be a core part of Season 2 is going through this book, what we've learned from it, how it's experienced in our own lives, and sharing that with other folks. Another part of Season 2 will be launching that emotional support app and talking to people about getting emotional support with friends and how to be the best supportive friend that you can. And then let's really just focus on building community, and that's what I really want to focus on in Season 2 is going beyond just the one-on-one interviews, but working with the book club and working with the app and sharing that experience with all of you. So a final part that I want to share with folks is I just believe that if you want to stay in a space where you are moving forward, where you feel that you are getting better every day, that you need some big goal to pursue and some dream to go after. And I think that for folks in the recovery space, you may not have had the best career experience because of the hurdles that you've had to overcome. But I think entrepreneurship offers an opportunity to build your own future. And so I'm going to share my experience in launching these apps in the podcast as well. And you'll see exactly how that's going, what I'm learning, what it takes to take something from idea to launch. And hopefully, some things work out and that can be a good success story and inspiring to others. And if it doesn't, then we'll all learn stuff together and you'll learn what not to do. But that's the plan for Season 2. So stay tuned. I'm very excited. There'll be I'll be doing at least one check-in with y'all weekly in the podcast. And so look for that on your feed and in YouTube. And yeah, takeaways. 1, if you want to get the Drag Queen Alarm Clock app, I'll add a link to that in the video here and in the show notes. If you want to be one of the early beta testers for the emotional support app, I'll leave a link to that in the show notes and as well, and I encourage you to be a part of that as well. Anyway, I look forward to you joining me on this new season.